Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic.
And I am Most Evil Lifeform.
And today we are reacting once again to RWBY, but this time to music.
Because there is nothing new to watch.
That's not my mistake. I was so close to saying to the musical.
To the musical?
RWBY the musical. I'm
sure someone would make that.
We had something like that,
There
you know,
is
the dance of Team Juniper. There is
a Cthulhu musical. Why shouldn't there be a RWBY musical?
True. So, what we will do, we will go through the most important, hopefully most important songs. It still are a lot. We will listen to the song itself completely, and then we will pause it and go through the lyrics one by one, so that you have both like music and our discussions. Right?
Probably, right.
We discussed this before. You could at least once say, yes, you're right. Well, whatever. So let's go. First thing, as you already see here, this will be the day. So this is season 1, the intro song, by the way. And well, let's just get to it. Nora? There's the simple soul again. I think you catch something that I did. Your world needs a great defender. Your world's in the way of harm. You want a romantic life, a fairy tale that's full of charm. Beware that the light is fading. Beware as the dark returns. This world's unforgiving. Even bright lights will cease to burn. There's so much foreshadowing. And that was season 1, where everything was like, nice! Yeah, that's Jeff Williams playing the guitar. So the Williams are the ones doing this song. Awesome. Not over yet. Well, there will be the end of the intro normally. Oh, someone was working with light. Yeah. The guitar solo that he did reminds me a lot of Techno Question. Okay, that was number 1. So let's jump to the start. I mean, so this was the intro of the first one. We heard that quite often.
Yeah.
And as I already said in the past, especially the intro songs, very, very often are foreshadowing stuff, mainly with the intro itself, you know, with the animations, which we don't have here.
I thought the animations did not really include what happens in the series.
Not directly. But I remember at least in, I think it is in season 3, the animations of the intro show if you know what happens and you rewatch it, gives you hints, but it is not like directly, you know, you don't see someone being stabbed or stuff like that.
I mean, this also gives you hints. The whole the intro song is giving you hints, but obviously only if you know what will happen.
Yeah, later on. That's the thing that they like to do, which I like as well. You know, if you're like rewatching as in a reaction, and you see the video, the intro video, you're like, wait. And you see stuff that you haven't seen before. That's what's nice about rewatching.
Yeah,
in most cases.
Yeah, good movies too, where you see more and more the more often you watch it.
Yeah, so,
it's a very good rewatchability.
Rewatchability, RWBY watchability.
Oh.
So okay, so it starts off with small and helpless. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is about RWBY here, possibly.
It looks like, yeah.
So,
she was a small and helpless. So she was the youngest one, and well, I'm not fully like helpless.
Helpless, not really. With the oversized gardening tool.
Yeah.
Even in episode 1, she was already kicking ass, so there's no question. But if you see it from the later seasons and look backwards, compared, she is being seen as that, because fragile and young.
I mean, it could also be that they are somewhat like the Grimm or the older people, and they see the humanity as small and helpless.
Yeah. True. Just a child. True, no question. And the warrior will soon run wild. This could be any of the 4, no question there, but I guess this intro is mainly about RWBY.
Yeah, it's interesting that they don't state, that warriors will soon run wild, but it's specifically mentioning a warrior, which is probably something related to her silver eyes.
Which we didn't know at this point.
No.
So it is called This Will Be the Day. We're getting the
let's
the refrain, I guess. There
continue.
So here. Prepare for your greatest moments, sure, to come.
Prepare for your finest hour. The dream that you've always dreamed is suddenly about to flower.
Well, a lot of phrases.
She becomes a hero. She also will later on stop the Dragon Grimm. So this is pretty...
Kevin. I think his name was Kevin.
Kevin. No, stop insulting the dragon. And Kevin's.
Hey, don't worry. I had another reaction where I named a creature that was killed twice, more neither. I named him Kenny. And people took it up. So, but there's suddenly about to flower, which is nice because it's about the rose petals as well. So,
yeah,
it's fitting. Not so easy doing multi. Here. There we are.
We have the lightning straying from the thunder miracles of ancient wonder. And the miracles of ancient wonder.
Pura.
Not just it could be a reference to the maidens too.
Oh yeah, true.
Because the thing, we are lightning straying from the thunder, like straying from the source. Also straying maybe because they separated.
I always see, when I see lightning, I always think about Nora, but she's not really in there. I mean, she is in there, but not very present in the first season.
I mean, it could... Let's just speculate here. If they are basically, let's say, Team RWBY would be the future...
Yes.
Maidens, for example, then it would be even more fitting because they are miracles of ancient wonder.
This might refer to Oz and the Maidens, as you said, possibly. I mean, miracles of ancient wonders. So the legends and stories from the past, which the wizard and the maidens are. But it could refer, as I see, to Team Juniper in the meaning of Nora as the lightning and thunder. And ancient, I always think about ancient Greeks as well.
Yeah, but this would completely leave out the other two. So this is not... I don't think it's Juniper which is referenced here. It's more about powers which were awakened in ancient times.
So there's a refrain.
Yeah.
The day we waited for. I mean, the beginning, first time at the school, becoming hunters is a clear first thing. And we open up the door.
This is the day of when they entered the academy.
That's one thing, but the other is the first glimpse at something that is behind the scene. The glimpse at there's more than just this world. There is in the end, Salem and
they live their normal life.
Let's
say. I mean, in the first season, Salem is not really a thing yet. I'm not sure how much the song is already like referring to. I don't think that some things were clear at that point when this was created.
As far as I know, Monty had a clear idea about the whole story. So the main arc. The main arc. And I'm sorry, it's his name. I can't change it. But the smaller parts would be like he has like 1 or 2 seasons ahead, I guess, and a lot of additional stuff in his head and in notes and so on. So I don't want to hear your absolution. Who is talking here? I mean, by saying I don't want to hear your absolution, who does not want to hear whose absolution?
Well, for me, this is like the hope you're ready for a revolution is that things will change, and they did, obviously. But the absolution part is like, okay, you need to have you did something which was either considered wrong or which you weren't allowed to do, and you don't need to be sorry, and this person isn't sorry about it.
I mean, we started season 1 with the narrator, which we later on learned is Salem.
Yeah.
So this might be the view of Salem, who says...
Could be,
who is already aware of the smaller and honest soul, because that is what she started with, talking to Oz. So it might be that she says, I don't want to hear your absolution. I hope you're ready for a revolution in the meaning of my grim taking over the world. But it may be Ruby. I don't see where someone should give her an absolution for.
Yeah, but also no one will give Salem an absolution, so I'm not sure if she would ever say, I don't want to hear your absolution, because no one will give it to her.
Yeah. So I'm not sure who's talking here.
It's more like, okay, for me this means more of I don't need approval of what I'm doing. Yeah. More like that.
So it still might be her. Or it might be the girls, Ruby. Although they see you as small would more show that it is not Ruby here. It might very well be it's no specific person singing. It might change the position as well. You know, we have other songs where it's pretty clear. It's more general. We have other songs where it's pretty clear who is singing. But here I think it's not very specific yet. So, but that might really be Salem.
Could be. A bloody evolution.
Yeah. New solutions in the meaning of what you do, your kind of world is not working anymore. I want to change it.
That's the thing. I mean, it could Cinder be also in this case. True, yeah. Because she is more the prominent villain.
Not in season 1.
Not in season 1. But she's in the background. Yeah, it's Torchwick. But she's more in front than Salem is. Salem really is showing up a lot later. So Cinder is at least as a shadowy figure already present.
Just in the last episode. She's not. What's he doing? Just in the last episode when she's walking in the end.
So we would say that this is
possibly Salem
having a wider view than just for season 1. Yeah.
Okay.
In time, your heart will open minds. A story will be told, and victory is in a simple soul.
So that might refer once again to Ruby. Your heart will open minds, in the meaning of the way that she is so positive will open up.
I mean, the story will be told is pretty clear.
And victory is in a simple soul is a theme that the whole series is about. So it seems as though this game that Oz and Salem are playing, he is putting a lot of trust in single persons, like in Ruby, or in possibly like Rose before, I guess.
The thing is that for me, this is more, okay, the simple soul is not just referring, yeah, like, okay, you are simple-minded or something like that. But the thing is, while everyone has a dedicated reason, like, okay, my family was murdered, I want to, I have my family name needs to be restored, and RWBY has nothing of that. It's for her, it's a simple reason because she wants to be a hero. A hero.
Yeah. She thinks that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, and that's more the thing what I would read into this, that the victory is because you simply want to achieve it. You don't, her force is from within without a dedicated reason, because let's say your source of doing things is revenge, and you get your revenge. The power where you got your strength from is gone. Because you got your revenge. You may be empty after that. And RWBY doesn't need that, because from her, it's like a force from the inside.
Well, but I remember the first season, the first episode, the talk between Salem and Oz, when he said, but maybe victory is in a simple, more honest soul. So I'm still not absolutely sure what he meant by that. But there is something still...
Well, that was it. What it meant. What was meant, in my opinion, that it is... the simplest thing, a very simple, like, just a wish with no other, like, behind force, which drives you to that, is giving you the strength to do whatever you want to do.
Sure. So, your world needs a great defender. No question. We can approve with that one. It does. In the way of harm, we know by now, sure. And you want a romantic life, a fairy... I mean, that might be RWBY very well. The fairy tale, the hero who just goes through the world.
Is more. It sounds a little bit more like it's directed to the viewer.
Might be as well, especially to me.
You want to have you want to be this a romantic thing and everything. Like, I mean, all the ships are sailing and stuff. Yeah. And a fairy tale that's full of charm because it's referring to all the fairy tales. So this is, for me, clearly addressing you.
Nice point. So...
Getting in the way of the microphone.
And this is foreshadowing, no question. The light is fading, the dark returns. I mean, we've seen it over the episodes, over the seasons. The world's unforgiving, we learned for sure, especially in season 3. Even brilliant light will cease to burn. This is, I mean, if you watch this after, or hear to this after season 3, it is like a punch. I'm not sure if they wanted to point this out already, but it's fitting for later on things that happen.
I would actually even, after that, I would even see in the future that more are dying. Because it's like, okay, brilliant lights will cease to burn, and Pyrrha and Penny were not the only brilliant lights.
Yeah, sure.
So...
but it's, especially if you watch season 1 is except for Torchwick and his, he's a criminal, but it's more funny. The fights feel more, and everything feels more like, there's a criminal they get, and it's not really much going for your life, and it's just that the police are a bit clumsy and not working properly, but the intro already showed here there is more to come. And I mean, season 2 went dark, and season 3 was really down then, so it's like they gave us a little bit of nice time in the beginning, and then they punch you. Legends
scatter. Day and night will
sever.
Hope and peace are lost forever,
and now we're dark. So, legends scatter. That might be Team Stark as example. It may refer to RWBY's mom.
For me, this is the Fall Maiden.
Oh yeah, well.
The legend scattered, she died. Day and night will sever. And this is, I mean, I would actually say day and night fuses a little bit, because like Cinder takes over as scattered legend. Like she becomes the Fall Maiden.
Well, I think that's a bit too far already, but I'm not sure. I mean, day and night might refer to like anything, good and bad. It might even refer to those two gods we had learned about now. So it's just, I think it's more like everything's changing. It's not one thing anymore. It's going into two parts, the good and the bad, But hope and peace are lost forever is harsh.
Which is actually not even true, because RWBY never lost hope.
Yeah, true.
Peace is lost, more or less. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for many people it's even like hope was lost there. So then
Legend scatter. Even Oz died. The legend too.
True. And then I think it's mainly...
There was something else which I have seen. It seems we either jumped over this. I'm not sure. Now, this is the refrain again.
I'm pretty sure... I think we had it, but you didn't pay it.
Yeah, we had it.
Well...
No, this was it.
Yeah.
This was in
Well,
the second.
this is it.
In the second one.
What in the second one?
In the second verse.
I think we had everything.
Okay.
I think. So, that was song number 1. This will be the day. And now, we are going in for the kill. Red Like Roses. So first, Red Like Roses 1. It's, not saying it. Just go for it.
Trailer.
Exactly.
And the theme.
This brings back memories.
Full moon, this is wrong. It needs to be a shattered moon.
No, it's depending on...
I know, but it's usually displayed as
shattered. Yeah. It's Sense from Shadows, very fitting. And Burn. Those poor movies. lot of instruments. I mean, it's like an orchestra. So that will be a fast one. Nice.
Even much to say about this one.
Well, so the one thing is, I think there's more neither the first one that was sung, and you can hear the in my opinion that the voice was strained a lot when it came to the high notes. So this, by the way, is the daughter of the one that
now we are
composed it.
criticizing.
No, I'm not criticizing. It is the beginning, and she got better with every song and every season. So, first thing, there is a lot of different music styles and a lot of instruments.
It's
like
not that
flamenco as well?
It's not that a different music style. It's pretty constant music style, in my opinion.
Okay, then just speed.
Yeah, I mean the tempi is changing. Yeah.
So, but you have I mean, it is clearly pointing out to the 4 of Team RWBY.
Yeah.
So Red Like Roses is RWBY itself. Fills My Dreams might relate to blood, but I'm not sure. It maybe just weddings. But Brings Me to the Place You Rest.
It's more like a Red Like Roses, Fill My Dreams. I mean, Summer Rose.
Yes.
So it's at the same time between the place to the place you rest. It's 2 references to her mother and to the hero she wants to be. That she wants to follow her mother and her duty and or her task as a huntress. So that would be.
And it brings her to the place she possibly Summer rests is in the meaning the clear meaning in my opinion is a grave. Yeah. Where we've seen her multiple times in the seasons. In the series.
At the grave, yeah.
Yeah, that she was standing there. Even the start of the trailer. The first thing we ever saw from RWBY is, and I mean RWBY the series, is RWBY standing in front of the grave of her mother. And I remember that we had this cloaked white figure that was then just, possibly like it's a memory or something, just whisked away by the wind. Possibly that should be Rose. Then we have... Wise! Cold and always yearning. That's very fitting.
Yeah, burdened by a royal test is also this.
We know it now.
Yeah.
But if you see, this is season 1. This is even the trailer. So the royal test that she's burdened by that, we learned
later, a lot later.
At the end of season 1 a little bit, when she was arguing with Blake about the problems she had at home. But there was more like the problems.
But this was not really already like that she had a royal test to do.
There was about hard time at home due to the White Fang.
Yeah.
And in season 2 we learned more about the thing with her father and going on over the seasons more and more.
Which is, by the way, I'm still convinced that this in the beginning when she said because of the White Fang was a complete lie. Because in the end, it's not. Jacques basically said, yeah. She later on says this too. That he said to her mother that he just married her because of the name.
Yeah.
So and that she had a harsh home, and that I mean, she said her father became worse because of the White Fang, but actually,
I think it is. It just made it worse. Was what already was bad. So there was a reason why, and I think as a kid it was easier to say in these cases it is the fault of the White Fang and of the faunus, instead of being clear to yourself, no, it is not. It is 90% your dad itself.
But she actually knows what they did again, that they did wrong things for the faunus. That's why she wants to clear her family name.
Yes, now.
So yeah, but back then she knew this whole stuff too. In the meantime, she didn't have any new information from home.
I think there's a difference between knowing and knowing. The one thing is what you know in your mind. The other thing is once you have convinced yourself.
But she went to go to the academy because she wanted to clear the name. She was already aware of that.
Yes, she wanted to clear the name, but she wasn't. But that is something she made up with herself. But positioning it outwards to others, standing, that is something she developed over the seasons.
For me, this is more like, okay, this was. For me, this in this moment when she was confronting Blake was completely a lie, and she just did it like in a protective way that okay, she cannot let have something on her family's name, and
that's true.
Not in the sense of that she didn't realize it. For me, she realized that for me, this was just like, yes. Okay, this is the protective mechanism. Okay, this is against my family, and I want to clean my family name. And then that's why she put up this burden or this wall that will not.
I agree with you there. The difference is, yes, she was aware in herself that she was on the wrong position, that she was on the wrong side there, her family, and she as a part of the family. But she was not ready yet as a person to open up and to agree with that she's on the wrong side. She was not ready as a person. That she needed time for that, and this development came over this.
So it's a lie. It still
yes,
is a lie.
Yes, but I'm against the harsh word lie. It is self-protection. It is self-protection.
Yeah, but even a self-protection, a lie is a lie.
Yes, but there's a difference between a lie and a lie to defeat yourself. So I'm against the harsh word of a lie because that would mean that she was a really, really evil person at this moment,
this
and she
wasn't.
True.
This is not true.
That's different how we conceive the word lie.
Yeah, for me, a lie is simply you are not telling the truth. Full stop. Without having any intentions behind it. If it's good or bad, doesn't matter a lot. But a lie is a lie. A lie is not telling the truth.
Just 4 verses, and we argue. So next one is no question Yang here. Yellow beauty burns. Then we have already, I mean, it's everything in yellow. Later on comes gold. Beauty. So she's the one that's about being beautiful and whatever. And burns, where we have the fire, the raging temper. And the single gold. And that's it.
Which is interesting because the single gold. I was like, okay, what am I referring? What would be my association with gold, which is actually cinder. Because of her clothing and her eyes burning. And the thing is, because Yang's eyes become red and are usually violet, not gold, and she's yellow,
but
a bright
her hair
yellow.
Is turning
but this
golden.
Is this is referring to the burning in my opinion.
Or to Goldilocks.
Nah, but this would be, why is the gold single and why is it after yellow? Why not say gold in the first place?
Because the team as whole is golden.
That's why I think, for me, this gold is so separate and alone and with no other comment that it, in my opinion, can refer to something else, that to a fifth unknown thing. Like, for example, in Ruby's case, why not throwing silver in there? But it's not.
That would be the silver eyes in case of Yang. The gold is her... It is her hair. I mean, there's no question. It might be that the gold is referring to something we don't know yet.
Also possible.
Maybe but I don't see we will actually Cinder at all with gold. None. Zero. Nada.
What would be your association with gold?
Right now?
Besides Yang, obviously.
No, Yang is not really... I know that many people go, when it comes to Yang, with yellow and gold. The mix-up. But I agree there's no clear gold with her. But I don't see right now, on first clue, anyone who is really about gold, is golden. I'm not sure. I don't see anyone yet. It would have been interesting if they would have like green or stuff, or smaragd, something like in. So for Oz, that would have been nice. But even Oz has no gold.
I mean, they couldn't because there's also emerald.
Yeah, that's too complicated. Then would go for.
I mean, aren't Ozpin's eyes golden? And I mean, Oscar's eyes shifted now also from green to gold, and maybe his eyes will go more golden later on over time when they fuse more.
Possible. Or it is referring to the relics. No idea. But definitely not Cinder in my opinion. But it still could be. So I'm not sure. It might be that it was referring to Yang in like because yellow burns gold. So
it's just so weird because it's so separate.
Yeah, it's standing out. I agree there.
It's like gold. It's like it has a much heavier meaning. Especially everyone else before had like
one line or a dual line.
Yeah, well, it was a together piece. It was like, okay,
it was sung as a part.
Yeah, and the gold is standing alone as a word, as a part, as
like another person, if it is about a person.
Yeah, if it's about.
Or maybe it is a team. We don't know. Or maybe
a future team gold confirmed.
Glinda.
Oh.
Leo. Ospe. I'm just confusing the I just realized it was GLO, but
doesn't matter.
Glinda, Ospin,
it's just weird
Leo,
that
and
Glinda would be the leader then.
True. Oh, why not? What about Godspin?
Godspin.
God Ospin. Well, no idea. So let's go for the next one. And the last one for this video.
Yeah.
So it is Red Like Roses part.
I couldn't take it, couldn't stand another minute. Couldn't bear another day without you in it. All of the joy that I had known for all my life was stripped away from me the minute that you died. To have you in my life was all I ever wanted. But now without you, I'm my soul forever haunted. Can't help but feel that I had taken you for granted. No way in hell that I could never comprehend this. I wasn't dreaming when they told me you were gone. I was wide awake and feeling that they had to be wrong. How could you leave me when you swore that you would stay? Now I'm stuck inside of them here every single effing day. It's like a movie, but there's not a happy ending. Every scene fades black and there's no pretending. This little fairy tale doesn't seem to end well. There's a lightning shining armor won't wave me from the spell. I know you didn't plan this. You tried to do what's right. But in the middle of this madness, I'm the one. Let's do this right. Red light roses fills my head with dreams that bind me. Always closer to the infinite sadness that is gone to take the place of you. I know you're broken down by anger and by sadness. You feel I left you in a world that's full of madness. Wish I could talk to you if only for a minute. Make you understand the reasons why I did it. I wanna tell you that you're all that ever mattered. Want you to know that for eternity I'm shattered. I tried so hard just to protect you, but I failed to. And in a prison of abandonment I jailed you. I never planned that I would leave you there alone. I was sure that I would see you when I made it back home. And all the times I swore that it would be okay. Now I'm nothing but a liar and you're thrown into the fray. This bedtime story ends with misery ever after. The pages are torn and there's no final chapter. I didn't have a choice, I did what I had to do. I made a sacrifice and forced a bigger sacrifice on you.
Oh, that's deep.
I caused the suffocate. But baby, please don't do what I did.
Okay.
You also waste your life in vain.
Ever heard so much about Summer Rose?
And that's season 1. I think we will talk hours now. That's so much. Holy shit. Although sometimes it feels to me like it might be even Yang in some. But I mean, there's just so specific.
This is Summer Rose.
No, I mean Ruby / Yang.
That her mother didn't sacrifice herself.
Oh, well, that might be a lot. There it is.
Jeez.
There was
A nice dialogue.
yeah.
I like that the voices were very similar and you could really tell, okay, this could be mother and daughter. I'm not sure if the female singer there is indeed her mother or not.
Yeah, true. Whew. So
It's actually surprising because you never in the series see Ruby's anger about her mother's death so shining through.
that's why I said I could see, although I'm pretty sure it is Ruby here talking, but I can see
Yes.
Yang in it because we had the side of Yang we had in one of the seasons.
Yeah, but the thing is also her mother is not gone.
For her, I mean, there's a grave and it feels a lot, and all people are treating it like she is gone. It is for us, for the viewers, that we still believe and hope that she is not completely gone.
Wait, we are talking still about Yang?
No, we're talking about Summer.
Summer Rose.
Yeah. There's nowhere anything that Ruby is gone. It is all about that Summer is gone.
Yeah.
But this one, in red here, is Ruby talking. But in some parts, it would be very fitting if it would instead be Yang talking to Summer, because she is her mother as well. Maybe not by blood, but Summer was her mother. She said, slayer of monsters and baker of cookies. So she talked about it, and she's the only one we ever heard about the loss of Summer talking a bit more than just she's gone, you know?
I know, but it was never addressed that much. I mean, Yang was also never super upset about Summer. She was more busy with her own mother.
Yeah, but we had the moment when she talked to Blake, where Blake was not going to the fest and had the red eyes and was done. And she talked, I did not stop looking. Yes, there she talked about her mother, but in the start of it, she talked that Summer was gone as well, because she left for one, and she never came back as well. So, however, let's go for these lyrics. I couldn't take it. Well, then another minute.
Couldn't bear another day without you in it.
Yeah.
So I think you cannot go part by part. You need it's a context thing.
So it might be that she's visiting the grave very often.
All of the joy that I had known for all my life was stripped away from me the minute I died. So this is for me, basically, as soon as she was heard that her mother is dead. This is the initial start. This is grieving.
Thing is, as far as we know, Ruby was too young to really she was really
That's
a
the
kid.
thing. But I mean, you could still, if she was a kid, you can still
understand some things.
This is all about feelings. This is not about She later on she also said, "I know this sounds more now. Now I know that you didn't plan it and so on." Yeah. But this sounds like initial grieving of a
especially
child.
if you're a small child and your mother's just not coming back. You know that's when you're grieving.
All the joy that I had known of for all my life was stripped away from me the minute that you died. Is also quite harsh because she still has Yang and her father, but she seemed to have a very strong bond to her mother in order to
which we see nowhere in the series.
That's why this is so surprising for me.
So question is, I mean, it might a lot of the songs are not really canon. But they give you another perspective on it. I mean, there are some songs, especially in season 4, where a lot of the fandom would be like, "Oh, please be canon." I know, but I am pretty sure I read something that Monty talked a lot with Jeff Williams about the ideas for the seasons, for the whole story where it should go to, so that he can make texts. And I think to remember that a song of season 4 or 5 was originally made for season 1. And Rooster Teeth said, "No way, you're spoiling." Like hell, I mean, he's spoiling a lot already if you know later on.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm not sure anymore which one it was, but there was one that was too much. So he had this, I think even as an intro song for season 1. So, "Baby in My Life Was All I Ever Wanted." But I'm a Soul Forever Haunted. I mean, this is so harsh. So the question is Ruby really feeling that somewhere deep inside and is just hiding that very, very good? Or it might be something in the past. I mean, when she was like 2 or 3 or 4, maybe when her mother died. We don't know. Maybe there was a very hard
Soul Forever
time.
Haunted is referring for me that she always bears the death of her mother within her. And I mean, the next 2 lines are more about, taking someone for granted and that you would never expect that someone leaves or dies. Like when you talk to people directly, you don't expect him to not see them again. And this is more referring to that. When they told me you were gone, That's why, like, okay, I was like, this is a bad dream.
And I was wide awake and feeling that they had to be wrong. That's a typical denial, you know. That can't be true. I just
what was
to
it? The 5 states of grieving.
Yes. Denial.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, you don't need to actually say something about it. It's pretty self-explaining. There is not a happy ending. Every scene fades black and there's no pretending.
That's really, really down in the dumps there.
Well, it's there is no pretending of, okay, everything will be pretty, you know? Like, every scene is fading to black, which actually is like, if this would be foreshadowing that every scene is fading to black and every scene is a character.
Well, no. That little fairy tale doesn't seem to end well. This is interesting because the fairy tale might very well be RWBY the series. But then there's no knight in shining armor who will wake me from the spell. So this is really very much RWBY with her beliefs in you know, the good, the fairy tales. That would be fitting.
For me, it's more interesting because this is referring to another fairy tale than what she would be referring to. Like, she is, okay, Red Riding Hood, but this is referring to Sleeping Beauty or to Snow White.
Yes. But the knight in shining armor might very well be Jean. I mean, he's the one we know who is wearing armor. More neither the only one who's wearing armor. Which still is strange that no one else does.
But there is no knight. This would be meaning that Jean is absent.
Oh, well, I think this is very much before. This is very much, I guess it is the past of RWBY.
I don't think that this needs to be overinterpreted. This is like, okay, there is no rescue. That's the thing.
But it is still about the mother. So there's not someone coming and saying, hey, I rescued your mother. You can wake up from the nightmare.
It's more like, it's more like, there is no one who will keep me safe from these feelings, from this grief. This is not like, okay, someone will heal this all of a sudden. Yeah. No, you didn't plan this. This is like, okay, I know you didn't plan this, but I still like have this anger that you left me.
Yeah. You tried to do what's right. So that's the one thing. So she really believes that Summer did go for the right thing, or believed to do the right thing.
This sounds so much like at this point in time when this is canon and everything, that she knows what kind of task her mother had.
I don't think so. I think it is more about the general being a huntress.
Yeah, but the thing is, there are so many things which come later on with the sacrificing and everything, which is so like, yeah, in the middle of this madness, and one, you'll have to win this fight. And that's the thing, okay.
That's interesting to me.
And that's why I also think this is referring to something very concrete and not just to fight against the Grimm. This is a very general thing.
I think you'll have to win this fight might mean so many things. It might to win the fight against this despair. Sure, might be. But what if, and that's where you point to, is Summer was on a mission for Oz. Possibly. And Oz and Salem discuss about the little soul. Many guess it is RWBY that he instrumentalizes for his own agenda. What if she is meant to finish what her mother started, both having silver eyes? So that might be.
That would be. There are so many hints here which point to something very concrete there.
We have a little. That's my head. Finds me always closer, the emptiness and sadness that has come to take the place of you. Well, sure.
Which is quite sad. This is like, okay, there is a very dark place in RWBY because her mother is not coming back. Her mother is dead. So the emptiness and sadness is always this very huge place in herself now. So there is. Maybe it will come into play later on in the series that she actually has a very dark and emptiness, sadness about her mother, because I think it's too important that her mother died and that this will later on be a topic. Like, I mean, lately now in the season they said, okay, no more half truths and and so on. But us should know why Summer Rose died and what her mission was. And he still has
guess
not.
we will learn about that as well. It might be very well, I mean, it's very unlikely, but it might have been just a normal hunter mission. And she just didn't come back, but I guess as many others that there was something special about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and here we go.
With the mom.
There it is. So, you're still fitting. So I know that. Interesting is that she's answering, you know? So the question is, this is like in your head, like a discussion.
Imaginary. Yeah.
Wish I could talk to you of only for a minute.
Which also looks like, okay, they actually that Ruby actually cannot hear her.
Yeah.
Make you understand the reasons why I did it. This is like, okay, as she was choosing to die.
No.
This is so...
No.
This make you understand the reason why I did it.
No, not dying. Why she went out and left her alone.
Maybe it was necessary for her to die.
No, it wasn't. And I'm still not convinced she's dead.
I think she's dead.
I think she's not. But somehow trapped somewhere. Not in the meaning of in a prison, but in... holding in a place. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure this is not that she decided to die, because she states later on that she was sure she would return.
But then during the mission, there was like this event which made it necessary that she had to make the decision, okay, I give my life or I sacrifice my life so certain other things don't happen. Like, let's say Salem was on the brink of being able to enter the world, you know, because we are talking about that she's maybe restricted to a certain plane, and the only way to prevent Salem from entering the world of the humans was by sacrificing herself.
There are many options, but I think she never chose to just die. Sure, if there's this thing like, hey, I have this red button and I will press and everyone will die, that's the moment when she would go like, I will sacrifice myself because it saves my family. Sure, I can see that. But I don't see that really. So what's here interesting is I tried so hard just to protect you, but I failed to. I'm not sure if she means in the meaning of that she has despair now, you know, Ruby.
And this is also, this want you to know that for eternity I'm shattered is also like, okay, this is the rose petals which fall apart, and that's also why I'm pretty convinced that she's dead.
Which she isn't. Because if she did something, I mean, we don't know her semblance. There might very well be that she has some kind of a semblance which gave her the ability shatter like rose petals, you know, and protect something like hold back the Grim or I don't know.
In my opinion, her mission was the level where this could all be ended. Basically, they tell the story now, which basically I think Team Stark was originally meant to perform, and her mission, this final mission, was able to end everything. And that's why she also said, okay, I tried so hard to protect you, but I failed to protect means, and this is also what she's saying later on, I don't want you to go the same road I had to go, and I failed to do that. Now you need to go the same road, and this is also why Ruby said, now I have to fulfill the task.
Sure.
So this mission where Summer Rose was on was on a bigger scale. And the thing is, if she would still be here, if she would still be alive, then she wouldn't have failed, but she would have not succeeded right away. But this feels so final. This is like, I have failed, and now you need to do it. Well, and that's also why I'm shattered, why I failed. And I would like to explain you why and everything.
So I see two options here. It might very well be that the Silver Eye warriors are meant to destroy Salem.
Yeah.
She is partially grim, at least she looks like. And we know that the Silver Eye warriors have a very specific
ability
to destroy or to weaken Grim. So I'm pretty sure that Rose tried something like that, and possibly to Salem. And it might very well be that while the team, not only Rose herself, did that, there was a betrayal of Raven, or that Raven realized she's too strong, whatever.
It could also be, I mean, we don't know when exactly the decision was made by Raven. It sounded more like it was before Summer Rose was on this, and I don't think that
having no backup.
It could be, but I think Raven was already not part of the team anymore when this was happening.
possible. So,
and I don't think Raven would have worked in the favor of Salem.
That might, sure. That might be the reason why maybe Salem is not able to leave this tower, these strange
whatever
area,
it is.
whatever it is there. Might be. I still see the option of shattered, not meaning like I'm shattered inside me, I'm destroyed, but more like that Rose may, just as an option, have like being split into pieces, you know, that are still just kind of a semblance or whatever, that hold
for eternity.
So what? What if she's binding...
He's holding on to this hope.
What if
she's still alive?
Salem for eternity to this place? Just an idea. However, and in a prison of abandonment, I've jailed you. This is interesting. So she jailed her daughter.
Well, it is more like you are left alone with a certain task, which is what would refer to the Silver Eye.
Yeah.
And this is probably also that this task really can only be performed by someone with silver eyes, which would leave Ruby alone in the end.
Yeah. And so she was sure she would return. So this was not planned. This was not. It was not something that she was aware of before. It was a thing that she had to decide.
Which just had happened, yes.
In time then. Still sticking to the same, so...
And you're thrown into...
Yeah, it's your task now. Yeah, well... So this is...
Misery ever after.
Happily ever after. Yeah, sure.
No final chapter. I didn't have a choice.
Exactly.
I did what I had to do. I made a sacrifice, but forced a bigger sacrifice on you.
Yep.
So that's why I think she had to make the decision that she is dying for a bigger cause, and it was not planned that she dies. Yes, I agree to that. But she planned that she, or no, I think that all of them know that they're, no matter how they what they deal with, and especially since Pura died, that they all are aware that every mission could be their last.
Yes.
So
sure.
I think that this is still also something every hunter or huntress is aware. So I also think they didn't expect things to happen, but there is still, you're aware of the possibility.
It's the same for every soldier that goes to a fight, you know? Everyone, every warrior, every soldier, even now. If you're a soldier in an army and you go to a different country, you should be aware that you're dying.
The thing is, I made a sacrifice, but forced a bigger sacrifice on you is referring, in my opinion, that she forced her daughter to live without her mother.
That's one thing.
That's the bigger sacrifice. That even her sacrifice, probably in order to protect many, many more, is still smaller than what she feels what her daughter had to sacrifice in a sense of not having her mother. Causes almost so much pain. And this is, you lived a nightmare is actually also pretty harsh. It's like, okay, this must have hit Ruby so hard, and if this is canon and everything, this is really showing something that has not been told about Ruby.
I don't know. I mean, there's no question that Ruby has definitely or had some of this inside her. Yeah, but that's interesting. Please don't do what I did. So it might refer to dying if she's dead, or to sacrificing herself, which doesn't have to include dying. Yeah, what? But I'm pretty sure it's not meaning about being a huntress. But it might refer trusting us as example. It might. There are many options what you can interpret it.
The thing is that she still had this task, and it was said by Rose before and by Ruby that she still had this task to fulfill. Yeah. So I don't think this is referring to this task because it was discussed now in front of them. Now it's laying on you. And the thing is, baby, please don't do what I did to waste your life in vain. So Summer Rose did something or decided something. I don't think it's referring to the... Don't go over that so quickly.
No. Just talk on. I'm just...
No, I wanted to see the lines for this.
There you go.
And so her decision, or she's referring to something. I'm not sure what. That's the thing. What did she waste? I mean, this is implying that she wasted her life in vain. No, don't do what I did. And she said, "Don't waste your life in vain." So the question is, how did Summer Rose waste her life? This is the thing.
By sacrificing.
Yeah, but I mean, she should have made the decision.
Yes, and it was the right decision, but still, she lost her life, or in the meaning not her being dead, but in the meaning of she has no time with her daughter.
Or her main reason why Summer Rose did this was because she was grieving, and now doesn't want Ruby to grieve or to do the same things out of grief.
I don't get that.
And to live your life in vain, that like Summer Rose had a motivation to do whatever she wants to do, not just because, okay, for the better good, but also because maybe she lost someone, maybe she lost her parents, and so on. We don't know the past of Summer Rose, but she had this sort of grief, and now she's basically doing the same thing for Ruby, but she doesn't want for Ruby to have the same reason.
Grief. Okay, I see that. Okay, might be, but that's very far-fetched, but possible. I'm not sure about that one. I mean, the waste your life in vain in the meaning of it might relate to a fight that you cannot win, where we are at the side of Raven again. It might relate to very many.
Yeah, for me, it's more like, okay, don't waste your life by grieving over me all the time.
That's true.
Now you are allowed to continue.
Click, black, click, red, like roses, always closer. I think now we have much of repeating.
I don't know.
But there it is. So this might be that's referring to Yang, no question. It's referring to Yang is someone she needs. Wait for me to finish.
Mm-hmm. I didn't say anything.
But I've seen your face, and it was like.
I'm not allowed to react in a reaction video, by the way. Yeah. Talk to the hand.
Hello, hand. So what I wanted to say. So no, but the number one person definitely should be Yang. Always, because she's her daughter as well. But I think that it refers mainly to all the people she's protecting, being a huntress. So interesting is, I thought you understood. I think she was too young to understand at this moment, but maybe that's typical mother-daughter. I explained you, little one. Then that Ruby was fearing her leaving. Yeah, sure. So this ends today's discussion because she is upset and will leave now.
Yeah, bye. You're not the only one who needed me. Is referring, well, probably to Yang as well, but I think also to Taeyang, who is, I think, was very lost after she left, or after she died, especially because this is the second person he loses. And I thought you understood as, yeah, you grow. This is like, I think Ruby understood, but it's the difference between logic and feelings are not always going together. Like, okay, the grief and the anger about losing someone is sometimes outruling the logic behind it. Like, yeah, I knew you needed to go, but I didn't want you to.
I get that. Would I change it if I could? Sure. I mean,
you were the one I needed. I mean, this is a very nice setup here, which I had. Yeah, I thought you understood. No, you were the one I needed, and you left me, as I always feared you would, which is also interesting. So every time her mother left, Ruby feared that she didn't come back.
Huntress.
Yeah. Would I change it if I could?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
it doesn't matter how the pedals scatter now.
There we are once again at the pedals. Fittingly enough, with both of them there. And there we are again at nightmares and the blood that closes. So very
yeah, it's about death. death, destruction, blood, and gore. Nothing what I do will take the place of you. Yeah.
Well, that's not much of a surprise if you lost someone so dear.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
Yeah. Is it for me? It's still very weird because this whole mother-daughter relationship between Ruby and her mother is not addressed at all. Besides, like, she's standing at the grave and talking to her, but nothing like, hey, this was the whole anger, which is like and grief, which is shown in this song, is completely.
I mean, there are two possibilities. So number one is it's not canon. Point. Number two, it might very well be that it is existing. But I think if there's ever the moment of these talks, possibly it's at the grave. So it's like a very secluded inside of Ruby, very, very deep behind a lot of layers.
/ before the first season ever.
Or
like
before.
This is even before she came to the decision to become a huntress.
Yes. Maybe she got rid of her emotions. You are hitting the microphone all
I'm
the
not
time.
hitting the microphone.
You are hitting the microphone, believe me, I've seen it.
Complaining today all the time.
All the time. By the way, I have no more coffee. So I will get some coffee now.
Bye.
Goodbye. So this is it for this time. 3 songs for you. And we will have a short break now. Get some new coffee. Get rid of our problems. And then we will be back. So, as always, if you want to see the next one, it should be somewhere on my Patreon, I guess. Until then, my name is Relax and Panic.
And I am most evil life form drinking coffee.
Not giving me anything. Goodbye and out.